So that would have been
yes.
okay, which is perfect because now you're actually here, Rebekah. So quick intros again. I'm Shonali Burke. I run my own social PR consultancy out of DC, and I'm also the founder and creator of the Social PR Virtuoso, which is a online hub for social PR professionals who want to really kick their social PR butt into gear. And Corina, Manea or Manea, depending on where in the world you live, is a super PR professional, also very into social PR and really, really good at it. And Rebekah, I'll let you do your introduction because that'll come best from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you both for letting me be here today. So I am Rebekah Radice, and I am a social media strategist, the author of an award-winning blog, RebekahRadice.com. I've been blogging since 2004, so just for a little while. I help business professionals, and I don't know if I can really live up to spin sucks. And what did you say? Give people a kick in the pants?
It's the social PR virtuoso.
Yeah, I love it. But I help business professionals connect the dots within their business between their traditional marketing and their online marketing, and really helping them embrace inbound marketing. And not just that, but actually realize results for the first time within their business. And then on top of that, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Post Planner. And I know we chatted with you just a little bit, Shonali, about Post Planner yesterday, and you've been a long time fan. Gosh, looking at your blog, back in 2011 is when you were first introduced. Is that right?
I think so. 2011, or maybe like whenever Josh first started working on it, because I remember, I don't know how we came across each other, probably through blogging and so on.
Tough
and
to
I
say.
think it's amazing what happens when you start blogging, right? And I think he approached me to test it or something, and I just fell in love with it because I was like, whoa, this is really, really cool. And it's funny, I know you and I emailed yesterday about one of my old posts, and it's funny how some of those posts still get a lot of traction.
Yeah.
And people still leave comments on other posts that I've written about Post Planner that go back, 3-4 years, going, well, what about this? What about that? And I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool. That's good to see.
Yeah, it is. That's amazing. That is totally awesome. Well, it definitely speaks to the power of your writing and how well you did in positioning those articles in the first place. So,
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. But for those that don't know, Post Planner, our goal is to help marketers, small business entrepreneurs, really manage their social media marketing. So we help you find, plan, and post engaging content across your social networks. And then more than that, we help you find predictive content. So content that has already performed well across the web, and then get that scheduled, like I said, for your social network. So we take the pain out of social media marketing, I think is a good way to put it.
Absolutely. And so speaking of all the changes that we've seen in the social space and in the marketing space, and Rebekah, you're really one of the pioneers of this area. Can you talk a little bit as to the changes that you have seen, especially when it comes to PR pros needing to really extend themselves? Because it's not just about, well, let's get the word out and let's put a news release out or whatever. It's really about integration. It's about, it's always been about business, but somehow PR never got that memo, I feel like sometimes.
Well, and I think you just said it, that word integrated, and creating that integrated strategy is probably one of the biggest changes that we've seen. And it's a huge mind shift, isn't it? To go from those days of, I'll just put out a press release and wham, bam, everybody's going to know about my product or service or whatever's happening within my business, to that idea of we've got a lot more moving parts within our, not just our social strategy, but our entire PR strategy. So everything from, if you are a local business, you're still going to have a lot of traditional marketing that's mixed in to your online marketing. So, for us at Post Planner, we work 100% off of inbound marketing. So it's creating those fully robust, I guess is a good way to put it, campaigns that are end-to-end, integrating every aspect of that online marketing and everything that it has available to it. And so much of that, as we know now, is content marketing. So it's creating the right content for the right people, and then being able to serve it up to them at the exact right time. And I think that's a big shift too, is the difference from those days where we just kind of stood out there as companies with our megaphone yelling at customers, hoping that our broad message would hit the mark. And today we can be extremely specific in that marketing message in getting our point across to the exact right people. And I know you talk a lot about this, Shonali, throughout your PR Virtuoso. And I know we're going to talk about it here today, but that's a really exciting aspect to me, is how narrow we can get within our message, and not only being able to identify who our exact market is, but being able to target them very specifically across all of the different social networks, across all of the different tools that are available to us, so that we are hitting our mark a lot more often than before, where, like I said, you were just kind of tossing it out there and hoping that at some point you'd hit that one person that was actually interested in what you were out there selling.
Yeah, absolutely. Corina, what about you? Now, you are also so unique because you're from Romania.
Yep.
You moved to Spain. I mean, wow, you have like this amazing career trajectory. You have really you are a thought leader in the space. You work with some of the best companies around the world, and you have your SpinSucks logo there. So, I hope Ginny is very, very happy when she sees this. You must have seen so many changes just culturally, as well as in how folks at Armin Dietrich and you approach work. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. In Spain, we still are a little behind what's happening in the United States. It's still a lot of traditional here. Smaller companies, smaller businesses are starting to embrace social much more in their communication. International brands already use them for their Spanish representations. So this is something like centralized thing. But on a local level, things are starting moving towards embracing social media and communication via social. But I did see, and I do see a switch in the mind, so to speak, of PR professionals from I have to push my message to, I have to actually speak with that person who answered me or asked me something, and so on. Not only journalistic with journalists or when I want to send my message, my company's message, my client's message, but I actually get to interact with those people I'm targeting, and I spend so many hours identifying my target audience and so on. So this switch in the behavior of PR professionals and in their mind, it's something that I see basically on a daily basis.
How does one get over? Because, especially when you look at businesses, everybody knows they have to embrace social. Everybody knows they are, they cannot live in a vacuum anymore. They also still realize the value of PR, I think. But one of my frustrations with that is not with PR, but is that people tend to pigeonhole PR and just kind of put it into a publicity and press release box when it's really about building relationships. And that, to me, is what social media lets you do. It lets you build relationships with your end audiences and with stakeholders, with influencers in such a beautiful way that you could just never do that before. And to me, that's what social PR is about. And yet people seem to have very definite boxes that you want to put everything in. So Rebekah, Corina, both of you, whoever would like to go first, I'll give it to Rebekah first. How do you start to address some of those stumbling blocks to really get people to start thinking in an integrated fashion?
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head of what is the pain point for so many people in moving beyond those barriers. And I think a lot of it comes in the form of education, helping people understand what it really means to embrace social media. You say that everybody knows that you need to be using social media. I'm not sure that's true. I would beg to differ that a lot of people are still pushing back pretty hard against the true ROI or understanding what the true value of social media is. So I think it's our responsibility as professionals to be able to come in and help them clearly understand what the value is in their business. And I think that's where the misconception comes in too, is that whole idea, and I think we've been perpetuating the myth that there's a one size fits all within social media, and that if you just post at this time, if you just post this type of content, well, voila, everything's going to change miraculously within your business. So I think for us, it's coming in and setting the expectation of, here's the type of business you are. Here's the deep dive we're going to do into how you're utilizing marketing as a whole within your business, and then how social media can truly benefit you. And I think it's in being very specific, helping them see those case studies of, how people are using it within their industry at this point. And then how does that translate over to them? Because I think that's where the aha moments start to come in, when they can relate to that and say, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I see how that's truly going to support me. It's not this team of people that just comes in and plays around on Facebook and Instagram all day. There's actually a clear purpose, behind our use of social media. So I think it all begins with the education component.
I think you're absolutely right. And actually, that's why I created my course, because I was just so tired. I teach at Johns Hopkins and I teach at Rutgers as well. And I teach smart people, but I keep seeing this lack of understanding on how to start from a business objective point of view. What is it that we're trying to do? Because they're very good at coming up with tactics. They're great at coming up with amazing tactics and great ideas, but how do you all tie that together? What is efficient? What is practical? What is actually going to make a difference? And maybe you have a great idea that you just cannot implement right now, and you put it aside and until a later date when you can. Corina, what about you? Have you had success with any specific ways of getting businesses over this kind of education hump, or which is a good turn of phrase since today's Wednesday and it's hump day?
Well, I agree with Rebekah that it starts all with education, and I think businesses are actually still afraid, from when they hear social media. Oh my God, what is that? This means that my client can come and scream at me. That's what will happen. That's the first reaction when we talk with businesses, especially new businesses new to social or who want to launch in social media. And that's their main fear. I mean, they don't get to think about business and results and how everything integrates. They didn't even get there. They stop with, oh my God, social media. Yeah. What's that? No, I don't know. I don't want. It's all no. But the thing is, just like Rebekah and you said, education, explaining them how it integrates with the overall communication for their brand, how we can obtain business results for them. And also it helps showing them success case studies. I mean, where you got previously success, this is like your resume, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, John Friedman just said my connection is blocked at work. I'm sorry about that, but hopefully you can still see us or something. And so we were going to, the whole point of today was supposed to kick off the social PR Blabs But we were going to start doing some makeovers because, as you know, I just reopened registration for my Social PR Virtuoso course on Friday, and we did a social PR makeover live. And then folks in my social PR posse group have been doing some great homework on taking what their specific campaign or challenge is and applying my 7C framework to it. So for everybody who doesn't know what that is, that's basically a framework that I came up with based on the 16 plus years, posse for life, I love it, Greg, on the long time that I've been doing this and kind of taking the C's of your corollary, which is your business imperative or your strategy, creativity, community, collaboration, conversation, calibration, measurement, and content. Because whenever you start to think about how to put together really robust programs, invariably one or more of those C's is coming into place. And I tried very hard to see if there was an 8th or a 9th C, and I couldn't come up with any. And so the homework that people got on Friday during the webinar was to take those 7 C's and figure out how their campaign fits within that 7C context. And then we were going to look at it and give them some ideas. So Rebekah, Corina, you ready to do that?
Absolutely.
Cool. So the first makeover that we're going to do, and I want to make sure you guys, everyone who's on chat, thank you so much. Keep the comments coming. And we are going to be bringing in guests a little bit later. So don't go away. We just want to do some of this makeover because that's what everyone's here for.
I think it's funny, just real quick, I think it's funny. Emma is having a typical day that we all have. You had asked her to pop on and she says, oh God, I look like a mess. Which is typical.
I know. Emma, you need to, and she says she's going to do it, which is awesome because Emma, guess what? We're making you over first. So it would be great if you were here. So let us.
Ironic that we're going to make over her business and she's feeling like a mess, right? Oh, Sprout Social is here. Hey.
Yay.
Awesome.
Hey there.
I love when you guys pop in.
So Emma just hit the, maybe she's going to fix her hair or something. Oh, there we go. Okay. Emma is here.
Hey, y'all. I know I look like a face off of what or something, but I mean, I'm in the midst of helping my brother move, so it's been crazy, but hey, it'll be fine.
You look great.
Oh, God.
You do look great. And for everybody, this is Emma Hawes, who is really, really good at, she's a super smart young woman, but she's also super creative. And not that long ago, she had a really, really bizarre experience with Instagram. Yes. And she wrote all about it on my blog. And you can tell folks about that, Emma. But first, I'm going to go to what you wrote about when you did your 7C homework. And so I'm just going to read out from the little the abstract that you put in the group. So you said, my job started as a social media content curator for Hype for Hearing, a philanthropy outreach of Delta Zeta sorority, of which you're an alum. And Hype for Hearing is a campaign to raise awareness about hearing loss while collecting $5 million over a 5-year span for Starkey Cares, an outreach of Starkey Hearing. And the hearing aids go to impoverished areas. And that's such a great cause. It really, really is. And so what you said is you are really tasked with web content, social content, all of with the idea of driving fundraising, correct? Okay, so tell us more about that. And then why don't you talk, since you're here, instead of me talking for you, about how you did your 7 Cs and what you think your priorities are and what you want help with that we can get you started on.
The first thing I feel like I'm lacking on, I know that I've been a part of the Measure PR and social PR community for almost a year, but I just feel like I am someone who's lacking on things from search engine optimization to just everything under the sun as far as like the metrics. So I know pretty soon I'm hopefully going to get a subscription decision and then that will help me. But let me pull up my notes. I know I'm lame, so.
No, you're not lame. There's nothing lame about looking at your notes.
Nothing lame about having notes.
Okay. Well,
exactly. Which is more than 99%
here we
of people do.
Basically, for my business imperative, the main goal is to gain donations, but also create members. I'm sorry. gain more donations and like get involvement of like the members. That's like one thing, and basically instilling them to create their goals and what everyone is going toward. And then this is corollary. I'm sorry, I'm just reading off. So the one thing that we're focused on in my notes, I know later on that I'm mentioning in as far as alumni and collegians, collegians, they're just, that group where it's like a 4-year gap where it's like you pretty much know who they are, but alumni, it is a Pandora's box. You have everyone from like someone who's like me, someone who's out of undergrad to, someone who possibly has grandkids. And so it's different on like targeting them. And then we basically want to tell the stories of like the members who go above and beyond. Like there's one girl, Katherine Johnson, she has a really cool story because she actually has like, I forgot the form of hearing loss that she has, but what she's doing is like for a certain amount that she's raising money. And once again, I'm under creativity. I'm sorry. But with that, her story is really unique because it's like once she gets to like a $25 mark and like her fundraising, she's gonna like hike up a mountain. And of course, she's in Georgia where there's mountains, and then she's gonna run a race for like the $75 mark. And altogether, I think she might be raising $1,000, which I mean that's a lot of money. So we want to tell stories like that and get creative, and then also merge that into content. And then we have like a monthly theme. It just changes from time to time. And then we want to show like these girls who made their achievements. But the area that I feel like I lack is, I do a lot of design work in design. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I've created that the content, it can be easily shared. I've seen sororities share stuff that I've made. Like, I know the Earth Day post I made, and I made one for World Hearing Day. And I found that I saw like multiple shares on that. But I mean, as far as search engine optimization, that's a huge skill. And I know I suck at it. So there's one thing. And as far as conversation, my boss is out of Texas. His name is Tim Nicholson. What's kind of funny is whenever I managed social media for PRSSA at Mississippi State, I kind of met him because like on award show nights, I'd like plan, to watch it and then make significant posts. And I made one about Robin Wright winning she was like the first actress on Netflix to win an award. And so he like contacted me that night, and then like pretty much in between then we've kind of like talked. And then a year later, after I graduated, he had contacted me if I wanted to work for Delta Zeta, and of course I said yes. And my tasks, they have expanded. But I mean, definitely you want to make like the conversations that you have part of like the experience and what's going on. And
okay. So Emma, absolutely agree with you. So what is you're creating great content. We've seen this because you do some great BuzzFeed style posts and so you're really, really good at that. So what is it about that content when you talk about SEO that you feel challenged with? Is it blog content that you feel you're not applying SEO principles, or what is it?
I kind of don't know at some parts, like how to like basically, like I know that you put like the tags in where it could be like business, public relations and stuff, but I just don't really feel like I know it 100%. So then again, I'm my own worst critic.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
And I say that with love because I know you very well. So Rebekah, in terms of giving Emma some ideas, just in terms of how to kind of pump up content from an SEO point of view, I know we hear a lot, and you are a past master at this and such an expert in the field. We hear a lot about how Google and search engines still want content to be readable. Mm. Right. But what can one do to really kind of add some SEO principles while still keeping the content human?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say the biggest key is understanding the intent of your audience. So those people that you're looking to connect with, what's bringing them to you? So what's their initial intent as they're getting onto Google or any other search engine? What are they searching for specifically? And then how are they searching for that? So how are they typing that in? So it's going to take a little bit of research to identify that, but what it does is it switches your brain as a marketer from standard SEO as we know it, which is just solely keyword based, to more that long tail keyword, which we've been talking quite a bit about the last couple of years, and incorporating those very naturally, very organically into your content in various different ways. So it's starting at the basics of doing your research into who your audience is, identifying, and we do this a little bit differently at Post Planner. I know the big rage is always personas. We've moved a completely different direction with a whole concept called jobs to be done. And if you're not familiar with it, the basic idea behind it is that we as consumers and your audience hires your product, your service to do a job for us, a very specific job. And what you need to figure out is what is that job that people are hiring you to do. So for us, we look at it, what job arises within a marketer's life, within their business that causes them to seek out Post Planner. And so then we start to get deeper and deeper into answering those questions. So rather than simply picking apart our audience based off of that typical or traditional persona, where maybe we're putting them into segments based off of demographics, we can now see that people are hiring us for 3 very specific jobs they need performed. They need to post content. They need to plan or schedule their content. So there are just very specific things that they're coming to us for. And that's what, as a business, you need to figure out. And a nonprofit can do it in the same exact way. And what that translates into is that your content then becomes all about that job that they're looking to hire you for. And then you go a little bit further, which is what's their struggle? What are they dealing with? And what is that problem that you solve? Which is, of course, just traditional marketing thinking. And then how can you be the solution on a daily basis for them? And I think for you, you really hit on a key point for social media, which is telling a story and doing it through social media. And I think you can really leverage visual marketing to do exactly that. So whether it's highlighting specific stories, whether it's sharing your stories, so maybe sharing your why you guys do what you do every single day, and being able to share the behind the scenes into that. Those are the things that are the human aspects that you're talking about, Shonali, that connect us. Those are the things, I call them coffee table conversations, that we have in social media all the time. It's the way that I go, oh my gosh, Emma, I feel like I've known you my entire life. Simply because you've given me a little bit of insight into who you are personally, and you've been able to connect the dots for me professionally into who you are. And I think that's so much of what social media allows us to do these days, is be, that dot connector, in that sense of allowing people to understand why should we want, to give? Why should we want to be a part of this movement that you're a part of, Emma? So it's just really understanding what they're coming to you for, what are they seeking when they're looking for you, and then you're crafting all of your content around that need.
Brilliant. Corina, what about you? Do you have any ideas for Emma?
I would also look at the community she has already and identify the heroes in there who shares the content, interact with them, communicate with them, find what moves them. Why do they share? Is it just an occasional share, or is something else behind why they are passionate, what they are passionate about? So I would try to know them also. So on one hand, what Rebekah said, and on the other hand, also nurture your present community.
Love that. And then
great point.
I'm just going to add, I think the community thing and everything Rebekah said about really finding your why. And you guys, I'm sure you've seen it, but there's this amazing TED Talk by Simon Sinek on Find Your Why. And it's funny because
everybody should be required to watch that.
Should be required watching it. And it's funny because I feel like even though he started talking about, that was like, I think the first one that he did in Portland goes back to 2009 or something, but now there's a resurgence and it's kind of coming around again. But he really talks about finding your why, and it puts it in a whole different perspective. I'm going to kind of take that to bridge to your goal, which is ultimately you want to obviously raise funds. You have this massive goal of, whatever it was, 5 million or something, or in 5 years, or a significant goal. But you can't, no one, not just you personally, but no one can raise that kind of money without a significant community behind you, and then using content to show your humanity so that you connect with your community and really motivate them to become your heroes, as Corina said, as your champions. So I know you talked about Station, which is great. We all love Station. We have friends there, But and you've heard me say this before, Emma, and I'm just saying it for everyone else as well. One of the things I think folks often get stuck in is measuring the tools as opposed to what the campaign is about, or what the broader business objective is. So I would say, Cision is great, but instead of worrying, saying, okay, I have Cision, but what is it that you're actually trying to do? And if you're thinking about building community, amplifying the conversation with your community, really making your content work for you so that it tells those human stories that Rebekah was talking about, so that it shows your why. Think about how to start structuring your campaign that way, working towards your overall goal. Does that help, Emma?
Great. I think that's such another great point, is looking at it from the 100,000-foot level of what is your end goal? And, it's similar to marketing, social media, and our use of social media as businesses. So often we get into it without really knowing what we want to get out of it. And I think for you, it's doing exactly what Shonali just said. It's understanding what that end goal is. So what does success look like to you? And then how do you get there? And it's putting those steps in place every single day to ensure that you're hitting the mark, to ensure that you're consistently moving forward. And I think that's a big point that people miss a lot, is that it's all inclusive. Everything should roll up, from one level to the next, rather than us having all these separate silos, thinking that our blog is over here and maybe Twitter's doing this and Facebook is doing that. It's all in support of our end goal, and it's all helping us get there as quickly as possible. And I think another great point I just wanted to dovetail on real quick was talking about those people that are already supportive of you. And I think this goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. How do you leverage those ambassadors, those people that are enthusiastic about your brand? And Sprout Social is here, and they recently kicked off an ambassador program, of which I'm a part of because I am a longtime user. Love Sprout Social. So I love that you're here because I can use you as an example. But they've done a fantastic job in identifying those people that are already out there talking about the brand, and kind of pulling them together and then educating them on how they can really amplify the message and the vision of the company. And so I think you can do the same exact thing in finding those people that are already just in love with what you're doing, total believers in what you're doing, and just simply educating them on how they can help you spread the word.
Awesome. That's brilliant. And just Sprout Social, I'm always open to being an ambassador, just so you know, because I like you guys too.
There you go.
So Emma, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for, you are one of the most dedicated young women I know. So I really want to give you a shout out. You work hard. I met Emma at the, where was it that we met?
Public Relations Association of Mississippi.
That's right, PRAM, the Public Relations Association of Mississippi annual conference that was held in Tupelo, Mississippi last year. And Rebekah, you don't know this about me yet, but I'm like a major, major, major Elvis fan.
Really?
This is one of my favorite toys that my husband gave me.
Gosh, look at that. That is awesome.
So for me, it was like one of the highlights of my life. Tupelo, and go to Elvis's house where he was born and swing in the porch and go to the church and everything. So that's where I met Emma. And she's really impressed me with how hardworking she is, how dedicated she is, and how much she just wants to absorb and learn. So for folks who, are keeping their eyes open for smart, super smart young women who are ambitious and who you might need help for your own efforts, I would call Emma Hawes.
Emma, it was great to meet you. You're doing awesome
saying
stuff.
That about me. I really appreciate it. It's really been great to be a member of the social PR community. And also, Shonali, if you want to go to Memphis to Graceland, let me know because my sister lives there. So it's fine.
Oh.
Oh my God, I'm like so
look
there.
Look at her eyes just lighten up.
we went there for our 10th wedding anniversary, and we are long overdue for a trip to Memphis. So I'm like taking you up on that.
Just let me know, and I can.
I will. All right, Emma.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Bye, Emily.
Bye, guys.
Bye. So that was really fun. That was so much fun doing a live makeover on air. I feel like I want to do this all the time. But we have a special guest coming on, and I want to bring her on because I think she has a campaign going on that really embodies everything we've been talking about. So Mercy, why don't you call in right now, and then we can share with folks what you are doing and have some fun with pink lipsticks. I'm gonna bet all the guys are just dying to know what that pink lipstick stuff is about. There she is. Hey, Mercy. How are you? Great. So you are my good friend, but why don't you introduce yourself to everyone and tell them what's going on?
Sure. My name is Mercy Chikawore, aka Mercy C on Twitter. I am a PR maven and communications manager currently at the Women's Foundation in Washington, D.C. And I volunteer with a number of organizations, and all of them have to do with women. Funnily enough,
I love it. That's awesome.
So tell us about the campaign that you have going on right now.
As I mentioned, I currently volunteer with just about everybody, but I am working with the African Women's Cancer Awareness Association. We essentially help African immigrants and women of color in the DC area who don't have access to health care, may be diagnosed with breast cancer, or just simply haven't had a mammogram before. We basically give them access to those services and help educate them on breast cancer. Because in most communities, especially African communities, breast cancer is still seen as a taboo, more than other diseases such as HIV, AIDS, and the list goes on. So we make sure that we're communicating, we're keeping the dialogue open, and women understand that it's, nothing to be ashamed of, and they have people here who are ready to help them.
Yeah. So now let's clue everyone in on the pink lipstick side.
Great. So I brought my favorite pink lipstick because we are doing a selfie campaign. Essentially, everybody takes a selfie a day, or even 10. I'm sure we've all seen it on social. Our friends do it. I've seen people's profiles that literally just have selfies. So we decided to take advantage of people's egos, if you will, to draw attention to the cause of breast cancer awareness. We have an upcoming brunch next week, so we figured, hey, take a selfie, grab your pink lippy, and this is my favorite one, like so. The guys can't really do this unless they really want to. Put on your favorite pink lipstick, take a photo, post it, and then tag your friends, and then hashtag it with Kiss of Life, and basically pass on or donate $5 to the organization. So it's just a cute way of, just putting a smile on our survivors' faces, because we'll be actually using people's photos for postcards and cute messages to send to them, while they're getting their chemo or any, just to send them a note to say, you're a survivor, or, put a smile on your face. And here's a cute picture of me.
That is
That's
such
awesome.
a great campaign, and I'm gonna.
You're doing your selfie right now?
Yeah, I just did
too.
I got all 4 of you in it.
That's awesome.
My favorite pink lipstick.
So everybody, this is my favorite pink lipstick too. It's Buxom. I love this. I love this brand.
I'll do mine as soon as we're done. I already have my
see,
pink
it's
lipstick
very
on.
pretty.
You're good. We're
Love
all
it.
wearing different shades of pink. Corina's got pink lipstick too. We prepared. Like we're, it's funny. You might almost think we're PR people or something.
Right. Who does that?
Coordinated? What?
So we
Now,
just
Mercy-
kicked off the campaign. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you when you kicked it off and how long it goes to.
So I'm sure most of you wonderful communicators know that when you send an email asking people to do something, it often takes time for the results to happen. So I did send my email last week, and I've been posting selfies and even snap videos with the little filters. But I really kicked off the campaign on Facebook today with one of our first ambassadors, Marcia Dyson, who's the president of the Women's Global Initiative. So everyone's kind of sharing her photo because I know she has a big base. So I'll be engaging different influencers like yourselves to post your selfies, and again, hashtag Kiss of Life. And yes,
so we just posted on our Facebook pages.
you post it on any social you want. And then, of course, I'll be monitoring and I'll be reposting from the Cancer Association's platforms.
Okay.
And
Cool.
on mine too.
Okay, awesome. And when does the campaign go until? Is there an end date?
Yes, so the end date will be May 28th, which is when we have our
28th.
ladies' first breakfast. So this serves as a way to build buzz for the breakfast that's coming up. And the breakfast is for women, mothers and their children, just to attend, get some great entertainment, great food, and talk about breast cancer. So we're doing it till May 28th.
Perfect. And I'm just dropping a link to your organization so that folks can have a look at it as well. And so everyone remember, pink lipstick selfie, hashtag Kiss of Life, post it to your social media by May 28th. It will help Mercy out, and really such an easy thing to do for such a good cause.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Mercy, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. And you are another tireless person, tireless volunteer. You're really amazing. I don't know when you sleep. I've said this to her before. I really have no idea. We had a project that we worked on together a couple of years ago in New York. And after the work was done, we actually shared a room. Mercy, I'm going to tell the story.
Yes, please do.
We were like bunkmates. Yeah, she's very calm. That's what I love about her. Like, you can never ruffle her feathers. And I went to sleep, and I woke up at like 2:00 or 3:00, whatever. Mercy was not there. I'm like, okay, whatever. She's a young woman out enjoying New York. So the next day, she was up bright and early, ready to work, all the energy, and I was like, I don't know how you do it.
Well, for the record, that was 2-3 years ago. Now that I'm 30, the ripe old age of 30, it's getting a little harder to do.
Plus you work so many different. You're also a music blogger, right?
Yes, I write about music. I write at least a blog a day. I am the executive director of ColorCom, which Shonali is thankfully a part of, Women of Color and Communications. And then now I work for the Washington Area Women's Foundation as my full-time, but I always have my hand in something, and I help, hey Kiosha, I help plan different events in the DC area as well.
Yeah, So thank you for everything that you do in service to our community.
Thank you for letting me join in. This Blab has been awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I think what we are going to do now, Rebekah, we have something really fun that we want to share with people. So Marcy, if you want to hang out for a little bit, and then we can have some more guests join in a couple minutes. But Rebekah, you and I have been plotting something really, really cool. So I'm just going to set you up for the big reveal, because I've been super excited about the big reveal. So everybody knows that my master course, my Social PR Virtuoso master course, which Corina is a student of, and Mercy is a student of as well, reopened for registration this last Friday. So Carolyn, if you don't mind just dropping the link in there. So it's open for registration. I've taken registrations through May 26th. And it is a 4-module online self-paced course that Corina called the A to Z of social PR. And I was like, my God, I couldn't have said it better myself. So I think is really good, obviously. But for people who register today, we have a really, really special deal. And that is what I'm going to ask Rebekah to tell you about.
Yeah, so we are so excited to be able to partner up with you, Shonali. I know we've talked about so much here with PR and PR professionals, but obviously, no matter what business industry you're in, we all feel the pressure of keeping up with social media. We feel the pressure of having to be everywhere, having to be everything to everybody. And so in your wisdom, you said we need to make everybody's life so much easier. And so what we're doing is we're offering a very special offer to all of your members, everybody associated with PR Virtuoso. And we have offered our Love Annual Plan. So it's our most popular plan, which gives you the full capabilities of Post Planner, where you can find all of that engaging content. You can post that to your social networks. You can plan it out so that you can just drop content in there. And then the app really does all of the heavy lifting for you. You know, it's back in the day, which wasn't that long ago, I felt like I spent so much time getting that perfect mix of content. So whether it was, images and links to, a blog post, or maybe it was just a text-based post, I was constantly moving stuff around, trying to keep everything well aligned. And now you don't have to do any of that. You set it up once, and then the app knows what content you want to go where, what time, all based off of the best times for you to post your content. And you have access to all of that through Shonali, and all you have to do is use the code PP Virtuoso, and we'll drop the link down in there as well. And instead of the annual price of $84, we're offering it at $60. Plus, you get 2 months free on top of that. So not just 12 months, but 14 months, all at that reduced price. And if you write support and you let them know that you watch this Blab, I will even throw in a 30-minute one-on-one consultation to walk you through the entire app and how to set it up properly for you. So we're just giving you a ton of value in one simple little package, and all for you to be a part of, this PR Virtuoso, and really expanding your horizons as far as your PR, but also giving your social media a makeover at the same exact time.
Exactly. And thank you so much, Rebekah. And just so you guys know, you do have to sign up for the course. Is a part of the course. You're not just going to get it otherwise. So you have to be a bona fide Social PR Virtuoso. But if you register for the Social PR Virtuoso today, anytime up until midnight, you get this amazing deal that Rebekah has put together, which is really amazing, Rebekah. I've never seen such a good deal. And thank you so much for offering that to my virtuosos. I love Post Planner. I mean, you know this, we already talked about this earlier on, but it just made my life so much easier. I mean, it's given me so much time back, just being able to do the planning, curate great content, use Post Planner's intelligence to find what's working and really help me plan my content, it's really, really incredible. And I do also want to know that if you, I know I'm seeing some folks here who've already signed up for the Social PR Virtuoso Master Course earlier when I reopened registration. So this does apply retroactively. So you'll be happy to know that. So Elise, for example, you will get access to this great deal as well. And for everyone else, through 11:59 Eastern tonight, midnight, if you sign up at socialprvirtuoso.com, you will also get access to this great deal that Post Planner has been so kind to put together. Yes, Elise, I could tell that you were like, oh, where's my Post Planner deal? I want to get my Post Planner. So Rebekah, thank you again. Thank you to Josh. Thank you for all your support. I really, really appreciate it. You know, it's something new that I'm trying. And there are a lot of people who are kind of going, oh, why are you doing that? And no.
No, I love all that you're out there doing. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. So we have Mercy. I'm going to say bye to you now so that we can chat with a couple more people. And I'm thinking, you know, whoever would like to come on, maybe Brandon or Greg, Elise, anybody who'd like to come and chat, just give us a holler. Just call in. We have about 8 minutes left for this Blab. And we can chat social PR, we can chat social media planning, we can talk measurement, we can talk whatever it is that you want to talk about. In the meantime, I have to ask this question. Pants or no pants?
Now there's a question.
A hard one.
So pants or no pants in relation to?
I don't know. It's up to you. You tell me in relation to what?
Whether or not I'm actually wearing pants right now or whether or not I wear them when I go out.
Well, whichever you are brave enough to
tell us. Is that what we're talking about? I say no to pants.
And no to pink pants? Is that what you said?
No to pink pants. Well, I don't know. Pink pants could be kind of cute.
I think they'd be very cute, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
so I'm actually all about the shorts these days. You know, I'm in Los Angeles, so
yeah.
My traditional daily wear is kind of, you know, tank top and shorts because we're pushing, you know, 80, 90, 100 degrees. But yeah, I guess I look at it from a couple of different perspectives. You know, women in business, should we have to wear pants?
No way.
Nope.
You know, I much prefer wearing skirts. Like if I have to dress up or like go speak or meetings or something, I'd much rather be wearing a skirt or a dress. I like dresses.
Yeah, well, and you should feel comfortable in what you wear. Mm-hmm. I think that's the bottom line. I think it should be a direct representation of who you are, and not trying to fit yourself into some crazy mold that, you know, industries or the business world in general has tried to put us into.
Yeah, and I can see how engrossing this question and discussion is to Brandon.
Oh yeah, he's all over it.
Just the right time for it. This is fantastic. I will say.
So Brandon, tell everybody this is my great.
I'm sorry, but before we get into before you do the introduction, I just have to say that there were some times when I was living in Chicago where it would be 100-degree day, and I'd be walking from my apartment to the train, being on a hot, sticky train to walk to the office, where I would see women wearing dresses and skirts, and I'd be like, I wish that there was business formal attire for men where we could show our legs. That's all I wanted.
Well, you can. You know, I've noticed, at least here in LA, that men's pants have gotten shorter and shorter, so you could at least show your ankles.
It's not the same.
Wasn't there like a men's fashion movement not that long ago where they were all wearing shorts with suit coats with like jackets?
I never got into that.
Yeah.
I got the jeans, and the jeans in a suit jacket, and that's as far as I'll go.
I agree with Elise. Start the trend. Do it.
Exactly. Do it. Do it. Do
Done.
it.
That's right.
Okay. So Brandon, tell everyone that you're my good friend, but tell everyone who you are to do now that you are no longer in Chicago sweating.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually in Tampa, Florida now. So I'm from hot to hotter. I am the chief strategist for a startup called Seralytics. We're a content intelligence company, and we're actually in beta testing right now of the product. And I've actually worked with Shonali a lot. I was head of US marketing for, we were talking about Cision for a while. So I actually was at Cision for about 9 years. So I have I've seen a lot of things in that time and seen a lot of the transition that's happened over the last 9-10 years when, you know, Twitter and social just really took everything. And then when that took off, you know, that's when content became king, was when everybody had a distribution channel. So.
Yeah, you've really, you've done some amazing marketing for Cision, and that I know this firsthand because you were my client for a couple of years when we were AOR for Cision, and just the entire team has always been great to work with, but you were always great to work with. So Brandon, from a marketer's point of view, or now from a startup owner's point of view, how can PR pros really kind of make over their PR from a measurement point of view? So that it's not just about hits and impressions and all of that, but what are some things that they can start to do to really get to grips more with the business side of things?
Yeah, well,
metrics?
I mean, the first thing is, what are you going to be measuring? And I know that, you know, like the idea of, you know, looking at impressions and ad value equivalents and all that was like this really big trend. And those metrics didn't match up with what was actually happening in business. You know, that never matched up. You'd be like, well, I drove $450 million worth of, you know, AVEs to you. How come? And the company would be like, well, yeah, and we, you know, this quarter we posted $4 million like in total revenue. So obviously there's something wrong. What PR and social people can do is just get aligned with what the business goals are in marketing, and the way that, you know, the marketing organizations that I've worked with, it's having that idea of here's what the marketing goal is, and then understanding where everybody's part is. And it's not just here's what your part is, but it's here's what metrics and here's what your goal is to actually achieve. So for social, for PR, we had, and even now, there are metrics for social and for PR for lead generation. And I know it's like, well, it should be all about awareness. Like, it's about awareness. It's like, no, it's a great channel to drive leads. So you're going to actually be, you know, held accountable for a certain number of leads and driving that to us. Also for customer retention as well. You know, these are things that we want to see and we want to measure, and we make sure that you are on the hook and responsible for this, because you have so much power. Like, PR and social has so much power in it, and unless you know what you want to measure, you're squandering it. So.
Yeah. And that, I think, is a great note to start winding down this Blab, because we are actually at the 1 hour mark. And I'm like, wow, the first Blab I ever hosted, we started off pretty much on time, and we didn't have any technical issues after the first 2 times Rebekah tried to call in, and we're ending on time. It's like, oh my God, you know, what happened to Mercury retrograde? It's like retrograding its ass backwards. So thank you guys so much for joining us for the first Social PR Blab. It was so much fun to do the makeover with Emma. Emma, you were a trooper. Rebekah, Corina, thank you so much for joining and for taking the time to do this, for being such supporters. Rebekah, thank you again to the entire Post Planner team for the amazing partnership with Social PR Virtuoso. Once again, I will remind everyone, Carol, if you don't mind just dropping the link in there, go to socialprvirtuoso.com, sign up for the course today in order to get the Post Planner special deal. And I'm telling you, you know, it comes to like less than $5 a month. It's like less than what you would, like, you would not
less
even
than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, right?
That's what I was going to say. But like, you wouldn't be able to get your mocha pump or whatever they call
that one extra pump.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want that wonderful deal, if you don't want it, it's fine, but I think you'd be kind of dumb not to want it. So if you want it, sign up today. And then once you sign up and you log into the course site, you'll get your login credentials. You'll find that there's a place for the bonuses, and then that's where you'll go to get your code and all of that. So with that, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope all of you have a great rest of your day and evening, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.